Hi, everyone. I'm Marcus Grimm. I'm joined today by John Santavy, partner at SimWell. Now, today we're going to be talking about a new report that we just published at the SimWell blog. It's called How Building Products Companies Are Making Supply Chain Decisions Right Now. And this particular report, what we did was we looked at more than 100 companies, I think it was about 150 building products companies, and we took a look at what is their posture in the marketplace, and also how does that posture frame the decisions that they're actually focused on right now. It's a really fascinating report, and we'd encourage you to check it out at simwell.io. But I got some questions for you, John. In the report, you call out that nearly half the building products companies that we looked at were in what we call expander mode. They're actively growing. But many aren't modeling labor availability alongside capital. Why is that such a common miss, and what's the risk if it stays unmodeled?
Great question. It's really a sequencing problem. When companies expand, the first conversations are always about facilities and footprint, and that's where the money's going, so that's where the attention goes. But if you don't model labor availability alongside the site plan, you can end up with a building that's ready before the workforce is. And that gap starts to undercut ROI, it pushes out service targets, it stalls your ramp up. In today's market, especially for skilled trades, this isn't a minor detail, it's a real blocker. That's why we always push teams to test labor availability as early as they test the network, because a location on paper might look perfect until you realize you can't staff.
We have another category of company in the report that we call the integrators. These are the ones who are in acquisition, though. They're buying previous competitors and trying to absorb them into their operations. Now, one of the things that we found is that many integrator companies aren't actively modeling routing formally, even though they're absorbing these assets. What's the risk of skipping that step, and how should planners think about it?
Yeah, this is a big one. After a merger or acquisition, there's usually this urgency to just make it work. So routing gets handled informally, volume gets spread based on tribal knowledge, what's close, or where there's room that week, and it works at first, but those short-term decisions tend to stick. And you look up a year later and the network is bloated with inefficiencies and no one really owns them. That's where we see companies leaking margin, especially in transportation cost. And transportation is one of the fastest levers you can pull to get cash back to the balance sheet. When you model routing early, you don't just inherit the footprint, you shape how work moves through it. It's the difference between reacting to the network and actually optimizing it from day one.
That's a really good insight. Now, if I'm a planner inside one of these building products companies and I recognize the posture that we're in, maybe we're a seasonal swell or a margin squeezer, you can read about all these in the report. How do I use that insight to get executive attention or simulation funding?
It starts by naming the pressure, clearly and directly. For example, we're about to double inbound volume in 90 days and we don't know if our current warehouse layout or labor pool can keep up. Or our transportation costs are climbing fast and we're still routing orders the same way we did before the acquisition. That kind of clarity cuts through. You're not just saying we've got a challenge, you're saying exactly where the risk is and hinting at a way to solve it. Because decision intelligence investments get funded when it helps answer a question the business is already feeling in their gut. So if you want buy-in, don't lead with the tool, lead with the pressure. Posture gives you the language to name it, decision intelligence gives you the power to solve it.
Thanks a lot, John. If you're in the building products industry, be sure to check out this recent blog post, How Building Products Companies Are Making Supply Chain Decisions Right Now. For everyone at SimWell, I'm Marcus Grimm.